Hi guys, it's Wade McMaster here. I've got a video for you today. I'm going to show you how to get some basic optimal settings for the all-in-one SEO pack, which is a plugin for WordPress. It allows you to add in certain metadata to your pages and posts, which helps you to rank higher in search engines. So what I'm going to do is, I've actually done this video in the past and they've had a big update since then, so I thought I'd redo it with the updated interface and show you how to get it all set up. So let's jump on the computer and get started. Okay, so I'm just on one of my little test sites here, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and install the plugin first. So once we're logged in, we head down to plugins, head to add new, and click add new. We then search for all-in-one SEO. We install the plugin, and then activate it. Now you're going to see this little setup wizard pop up. You can choose to go through and do it there. You can click let's get started and it'll run you through all the little bits and pieces. I'm going to say that this is a blog. My homepage title, I want to be the site title, the separator and the tagline. Or if I want to, for the homepage, I can go through and delete this all and type in, this is my homepage. Or, the name of the website, some kind of keyword, rich website name / description. You want to sort of put that in there for your homepage. And the meta description, you can have the tagline, or you can click delete. You can add these back in, or you can just say something along the lines of welcome to our website. We do this awesome keyword thing, and go from there. Save and continue. And you can run through this whole step by step, and it'll prompt you. So organization name, so I might just call it, in the last video I did a keto site as an example. I'm going to say Keto Plus, give it a phone number. Contact type, we'll say sales. We can choose a logo here. So I'm going to upload or select a logo. Let's use my Creator Impact logo for now. And you can create a default image for when it's shared on social media. So once again, maybe this time I want something different. Maybe this time I'll go the Wade McMaster logo just to confuse people. But you can go through and set this all up pretty straightforward. And you can use the same username for multiple networks. So if you have these networks set up and say you've got Keto Plus, you can actually just have it set up for all of them quite easily. Or you can go through and input the actual page URLs here, which we're going to essentially, you might be facebook.com /keto plus, or you might be Twitter, might be same, twitter.com /keto plus, Instagram. You can, if you go to your profiles, you can go to your address bar and actually copy and paste these in. So just need the URL of your Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is you have there. Anything you don't have, simply leave blank. And of course, if you do type this in like I did, I would recommend copying it into your address bar, hitting enter, and just testing that out. All right, so we're going to save and continue. We do want sitemaps installed, yes. Optimize search appearance, yes. Analytics, basically, we'll have that ticked on. And the rest of these are pro features. And generally speaking, a lot of the default settings on this plugin are actually pretty good. There's a few things I do like to change, but it's always good. So you can obviously have under construction or live site. I'm going to leave that as a live site for now. And then include all post types. So we can choose to have attachments, posts, pages, and products. If I don't want products, I can untick it, retick it. But I'm just going to include all of them. Do you have multiple authors? You can choose yes or no. Now, redirect attachment pages. This means if someone, when you have an image on a post, it actually can have an attachment page where you click on it and it's a page displaying just the image. And it's kind of a bit of a dead page, so I think for a lot of people it could be worth redirecting those pages. So that way you either go straight to the image or back to the post. It doesn't seem to say which option, but we'll get onto that later. Continue. And we can set up Site Analyzer. If you want to, enter your email address, and you can go from there. And you can always turn this on if you want to give information to all-in-one SEO so they can improve the plugin. All right, so I'm going to hit save and continue again. And of course now it wants you to, because we had this ticked for Pro, it wants to know if we want to sign up for the Pro version of the plugin. So if you do decide when you're going through there's a lot of options here outside of just this wizard. If you decide there's a lot of options there you want to use, you can go ahead and install or purchase All-in-One SEO. I will pop a link below and in the description, and you can do it that way. But I'm going to click. I'll do it later, and I'm going to skip this step. So it says, congratulations, your site is now SEO ready. But for whatever reason, maybe you don't want to use the wizard. It only touches on some of the settings. So I'm actually going to I'm going to leave this here. We're going to finish up and go to the dashboard. I want to go through some of what they have here. Okay, so essentially when you've got it installed, it used to be up here somewhere, but now they've moved it down under your settings, the all-in-one SEO area here. And you'll see there's a dashboard here with a video. You can check out SEO site score. There's a few different areas here that you can basically work with. What I'm going to start off is I'm going to touch on a few areas, and we're going to go to some areas in more depth in other videos. But in order to sort of cover the main areas of getting your website ready for search engines here, we're just going to go down through the page a little bit. So going down to general settings here. General settings. I want to close this video off. Obviously, if we want to get the pro version, we need to put our license key in here to activate it, or you can relaunch that setup wizard we went through and go through that. But you'll see here, if you want to, if you've got Google Search Console, you can click here and add in your Google verification code. Google Analytics, it'll ask you to install Monster Insights. So you can actually link up a lot of services in here that you use to track your website. And the other one is breadcrumbs. You can enable or disable breadcrumbs for your site, which is essentially, if we scroll down, the ability to have a little sort of, it sort of shows you exactly where within a category or sub-parent page your page is on. Not the best way of describing it, but you get the idea. So that way, if you want to have that on your site, you can do that. And the way that you actually apply it is with a shortcode. You can put that shortcode into into your page. You can do it with a widget, and that way, if you want to, you can pop it in the sidebar of your site, and then you don't have to install it every time. Because up here with the shortcode or the Gutenberg block, you're going to have to put those on each page individually. And of course, if you want to use PHP code, you can go a step further with that. Unless you're very familiar with PHP, I wouldn't recommend that. But you do have some basic settings here for breadcrumbs if you want to use that, which can be good for SEO. That's totally optional. I personally just don't use them. I try to just make my content as easy to find as possible, but that doesn't mean they're not good for you in any way. So RSS control. So have taken control of your RSS feed, and you've got a few other pro features here that we're not really too concerned about. So just want to walk through those quickly. So those are options you have available to you. But the big one we want to look at is search appearance. So if I go to search appearance here, now we can go into sort of the main search engine part of optimizing the site under the search appearance section here on the left. The first thing is global settings. So this is for the meta, title, description, all those areas, how it's all set up. Now you can choose a separator, which means at the moment the website is called test site and the tagline is called hell yeah, which is not very effective SEO. You sort of want your title, your website title, and then your keywords. Preferably keywords need to be in the title and then within the first 1 or 2 sentences of the description. But you can see the separator here is a dash. I can turn that into an arrow or a dot. I can even go to show more, add in maybe 2 slashes or something fancy like that. So you can customize the appearance of the separator that ends up here. For now, we'll go with this arrow just for the hell of it. But any one of these really should work okay. And then we got our homepage settings. This is what we saw in the wizard, but if you want to actually edit these again later, then you can go into here and do it. So keyword rich website name / description. I can add the site title. I can get rid of this text and say we. So it has test site there at the moment. So obviously I might want to change it to Keto Plus or something. But for now, if I want to actually type it in, I can either have the site title there or I can go Keto Plus. We do all things keto diet or something like that. So we've got the words keto diet in our title because this is what we're targeting is the words keto diet. hypothetically. Under the meta description, we can have, again, if you want to get onto the keto diet, we here at Keto Plus have, maybe it could be like recipes, information, and tips for getting the best results on keto. So once again, keyword rich description, keto diet, we have recipes, information, tips. So obviously keto diet recipes would be something that could work. We have Keto Plus, our name in there. And so people, obviously search engines are going to read this straight away and go, okay, this website is about keto. So setting that up for your homepage is not bad. So we got our organization settings again from before. We can add in a phone number. I added in a fake one, so it's cleared it. You can choose what country it's in with the drop down, and of course, what the phone number actually sends to. But you can also go to custom, manually enter type. As you can say, CEO, because all CEOs want to be called by customers. And you get the idea. We can go in, we can add in our logo for the business, and go from there. You do have local SEO settings, but that is a pro feature. I don't think it's actually 100% necessary, but it's not too bad. So essentially going through under search appearance, this first tab here, global settings, using your keywords and your title and your description for your homepage is a powerful way to get that set up. So I can click Save Changes. And now we're going to go back up to the top and we're going to go to content types. This is where most of the information you're looking for will probably be. I'm going to actually collapse all of these so we can see what's available. So you see we've got posts, pages, and products. I have a WooCommerce shop. I can use products, pages, and posts. And they've all got the same or similar settings. Obviously, I want to show my posts in search results. If I hit no, then my entire blog won't be found in search results. So I want that to be yes. It should be that way by default, but it's just worth mentioning. And straight away, the post title. One thing I recommend, because most blog posts are trying to rank for a certain phrase or trying to get more search, I generally recommend clicking and backspacing, and just leave the post title there, because you want it to be as keyword dense as possible. People don't necessarily care where the information is coming from, plus they can see your URL anyway in the appearance. So you can see here the URL, sample post. And then post excerpt, that's something you can also put in there. Obviously, if you change this on the page itself, it'll override it, but your post excerpt is here if you want to use that. I do recommend having that there, or if you want to, you can have post content and it'll put the first so many characters of your blog post in there. So if you are the sort of person who doesn't want to actually type the description and title into every post individually, you can do this, but just make sure that the first few sentences of your blog post actually are keyword rich and optimized for this if you want to use that method. Now with each one, we have schema markup, which is a pro setting, a lot of pro settings here. So, but at the end for advanced, you can just use the default settings or turn that off. But you can go through and make these no follow if you want to. Once again, I don't recommend any of that. You do have some basic options. I recommend leaving all these unticked necessarily, leave it at default and show the meta box. So that way you can actually add options or add customized meta to certain blog posts. So that's essentially it for posts. I collapse that and we get the same thing for pages. Same deal. The only difference I would say here, everything else is essentially the same. Under your page title, this is where you might want to keep the site title as well. Or you might want to customize the site title completely. You can actually, once again, go here. So Keto Plus or Keto Diet Info or something like that. So you can also optimize that as well. I can also just decide to get rid of the separator and do like a weird little arrow or little double slash thing. I can do that and that'll actually set up my pages that way. So that's pretty handy. But it really depends. If you're trying to really rank individual pages as opposed to, because most blogs try to rank blog posts primarily, not so much the pages. But if you're actually trying to rank pages, it might be worth keeping that off and just having the page title. So that depends on how you run things. For most people who have a few pages and a series of blog posts, having the page title and the site title or a custom site title entered can be useful. Once again, page content, and same thing again for the products. And so once again, I'd leave that same site title or type in the title, and that's how you can set up the basic automated settings for your SEO. So that way, if you don't go and fill out the title and the meta box with every single post, page, or product, it'll actually create something automatically. So you will actually have those there on your posts and pages without having to enter them in. Now, once again, there's a few other areas here. Title and description, obviously we do want to, for categories. It's good to have these display if you've got a lot of really good content on certain categories, because then if people find that category, they can go through and see what posts you have on it. Tags, again, you can choose to have that optimized, and it's all the same settings as before. You can have the tag title and the site title. So if you have tags attached to your WordPress posts, or you got categories set up, this will actually use those, set those up in the same way as your posts and pages. So essentially, it's kind of the same, but there's a lot less involved option-wise. But you can go through, set up your category title, meta description. So this is actually your category description, where if you go into posts and categories, you can add a description in there. And that's how you can actually set up search engine optimization for things like your categories. I'll just collapse these so we can see exactly which ones are available. So categories, tags, product categories, and product tags. So once again, same as before. Generally the default settings are good, and under advanced you can just keep this on default if you want to. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, okay guys, I've just realized this afterwards, so I'm just slotting this in here where I think it fits. Once you're done here, the next area, image SEO, actually touches on the redirect attachment URLs. So a section we were looking at in the wizard before. Now, before I said yes, and it sends it to the attachment, which means that whenever someone goes to an attachment page, which is something that all images have, it'll just redirect them straight to the image. But what might be worth doing if you have a blog post or a page that has a lot of really good images on it that you think are getting a lot of search engine traffic, or maybe they already do, you can change this to attachment parent. So when someone clicks on that image or that attachment page, they then manage to go straight back to the actual blog post itself. So the attachment parent is another good setting you can use, and that can help to redirect people from individual image attachment pages through to the blog post that they're actually on. So I just want to quickly slot that in there, and I'll get back to where we were at in the video before. Social networks, I'm going to touch on this very quickly because I'm not overly concerned. We'll go through another video on social media, but this is that same area from the wizard. You can actually have that one name again, but going through, adding the URLs for your Facebook, for Twitter, for your social media profiles is very handy. And then if you want to, you can go in and set up your open graph data and all that in there. Now, I am going to do a video on this, so let me know in the comments if you do want to see that, but I will pop a link below when I have that done. But for now, this is just if you want to, where you go in to add social media metadata, if that's what you're interested in. And finally, sitemaps. So you have a general sitemap, you want to enable it. If it's not enabled, please enable it. And then I generally just make sure it's enabled. I actually trust the default settings for this, but you can explore these if you've got thousands of pages you want to rank, and I mean legitimate pages, not just little in-between pages. You can increase that number. You can include all post types, or you can untick this and say I don't want to include attachments if you don't want to. But it doesn't hurt. I generally just include all. You can also choose to turn off certain areas such as product categories if you want to. So if you don't want those on your sitemap, if you feel like you've got too much going on in your sitemap, you can put date archives, not necessarily going to help, or an author sitemap. Unless someone's really searching for that particular author. If you've got an author on your site and people will search for that person by name, you can enable that. And then of course you can add in additional pages to your sitemap, which might not go there automatically. And then you can exclude certain pages from your sitemap as well, or exclude certain terms. So posts assigned to these terms You get the idea. So priority score, like if you really want to get into the advanced side of things, you can go through and change the priorities for your homepage, archive pages. Generally speaking, post type, priority, frequency, there's lots of bits and pieces in here. More advanced stuff, but generally speaking, as long as your sitemap's turned on, you're going to get, it's going to work out pretty well. So if you're a beginner, I recommend just making sure that sitemap is turned on, and then going into your search appearance and making sure you optimize, as we said, site title, tagline for the home page, go into your content types, set up those areas there, especially with posts. Try to keep the title, so that's pages. With posts, try to keep that title nice and condensed to just the post title. And that's going to be pretty much the gist of it. So search appearance and sitemaps are what you want to focus on. However, if you want to explore your general settings for anything that might suit you, or social networks, you can explore that to set up your social metadata. That can be a great way to get things set up and looking the way you want. So also what you want to do for your posts and your pages, I'll open up a page for the sake of this video. So we've gone through all the settings. Now what we want to do, we're going to go to About Us page here. We want to make sure that you're setting up, if you want to go through and really, for each individual post, so this is a page or a post, hypothetically, you can see here your snippet preview. So About Us, Keto Plus, page title. What you can do is actually change this again. You can go through and get rid of everything. Just go all about the Keto Plus method or something like that. You can put that there. Keto diet tips, something like that. You can alter this and get it exactly as you want for this individual page or post just by scrolling to, in your content area, scrolling underneath your content to this all-in-one SEO settings box. It may be further down. If you can't find it, you can turn it on, I believe. So you've got plugins here. You've got preferences, appearance, panels. So you can see here, all-in-one SEO settings. I can turn that on or turn it off. So that's by going to the cog here. Sorry, going to these three vertical dots, going down to your preferences to make sure it's turned on. You can go through, set up your meta description. If you want to type one, you can get rid of that page content and go, this is my custom Keto Plus About page description. Once again, I recommend describing something people are going to want to click on, and then also make sure you have your keywords in it. So I might say something like, learn about the Keto Plus method and how we make the keto diet extremely effective with simple concepts and foods, or something like that. So anyone who's struggled with it will go, oh, they have a method, it's simple and it's very effective. Cool, I'll check that out. Now, one thing, once again, another video I want to get into, I can add a key phrase such as keto diet. Add that key phrase. Now, it says here 68 out of 100. Key phrases in the SEO title, it's in the meta description. You can just go through and check these and make sure that everything is where you want it. It's not in the URL, so I can go up here to the page, to the permalink, About Us, Keto Diet. So I can do that and do bits and pieces. Now it's ticked and I have a higher score. So the focus key phrase is a pretty cool tool. It's been added. And you've got also another analysis down here. So there's all these cool little tools on the page itself. But the main thing you want to make sure you do is get that title and meta description done down here. And on the page itself, obviously it's good to have the phrase that you're trying to rank for in your title. But because this is an about page, I wouldn't necessarily do that. Mainly for your blog posts or things that you're trying to rank. And making sure you use your headings as well. So you got this title here is your heading 1. Throughout your page, you can add things like why eat. Okay, why go on the keto diet, and you can then make a title out of that. So this is not a heading, I should say. So heading 2, and if you have subheadings under that, you make them heading 3. So that's with a heading block. So that's not an all-in-one SEO function, but something worth knowing. The final thing I will say is if you want to add an image to your post, so we'll go type in here, image. and I go media library, add this image in here. Obviously, this isn't going to be a true demonstration of what we're talking about, but once again, this is a standard WordPress feature. On your image, under the alt text, make sure you put down a description or something with your keywords in it. So, tracking software for the keto diet or something like that. So under your alt text, make sure you have some kind of keyword-based description in there. So that way, when search engines scan your images, they go, oh, this is what the image is about. It has those keywords, and that helps obviously rank the page. And even just doing that, I imagine we're up to 90 out of 100. So it does help. Just make sure you get your title, description, use of headings, your alt tags on your images, and just using those keywords throughout your actual page or post is going to help. So that's for individual posts and pages, and that will help you just sort of really get the basics of your search engine optimization down for your what's called on-site SEO. So anything you do actually on your website to improve your search engine optimization. So I hope you found that video useful. If you did, please give it a like. If you want to see more like this, please subscribe. I am going to be checking out a few other areas of this video, such as the social media and also just the focus keyword and the page analysis. So that way we can really go in depth on that. But this is the basics to get you started, to get your SEO going on your website with One SEO. So I hope you found that useful. If you did like the video, please consider giving it a like or subscribing. It does help to support the channel. It means I can give you more free information like this more often. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave a comment below. Otherwise, have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching.